Right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are back with acids, bases, and salts. Okay. So I hope the concepts of acids are absolutely clear to you. We will obviously do some questions for further clarifications. Okay. And for the time being, we will also start with bases. Okay. So we are almost done with acids. We have covered the part of how they react or what are the products that are getting formed, and now we will try and solve out for the bases. Okay, just let me adjust the camera a little so that you can have a clarity here. Okay, so what do we have here as bases? What are bases? Okay, bases basically, see, in acids we saw that they are compounds which basically do what? Which acids are basically compounds which have a sour taste, and so what kind of taste does bases have? Okay, so we will now understand what kind of taste the bases have. So when we come to taste of bases, they have a bitter taste. As against acids, bases have a bitter taste. Okay, and obviously bases, how do they react with litmus? Okay, litmus reaction, they turn red litmus blue. They turn red litmus blue. Now what are these bases? Okay, so there are different ways of, one second, the light is not getting adjusted. All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to continue with the chapter of acids, bases, and salts, and I hope the concept of acids is absolutely clear with each one of you. Okay, so we are going to start with acids, bases, and salts. So we have already covered the aspects of acids. How are they characterized? What are their general reactions? Okay, so we have already learned all these things. Now we will turn up to bases. So what are bases basically? Okay, bases have a bitter taste. Okay, as against acids which have a comparatively sour taste. Okay, what is the action of litmus? Again, red litmus blue, and again it has to be moist, because bases will also react when they are in aqueous medium. Okay, what else do we have for bases? Basically all metal oxides, hydroxides, and even carbonates and hydrogen carbonates behave as bases. Okay, now what is this behavior? Behave as bases. Okay, understand, for acids we generally have the ones which give H plus ions, as acids, the ones which give H plus ions are acids. Okay, so for bases we should be having the ones which give OH minus ions. All right, so generally people correlate to bases as, okay, NaOH is going to be a base, or let's say potassium hydroxide is going to be a base because it has OH. It's not necessary that OH ions would be present. However, when you dissolve a metal oxide in water, obviously OH ions will be present. Okay, so this is how we treat with bases. I don't know why it is. Okay, so NaOH, KOH, etc. all are bases. Now all metal oxides, hydroxides, carbonates and hydrogen carbonates behave as bases. All of these compounds will basically behave as bases. So if you have, let's say, sodium oxide, this will behave as a base. Okay, if you have, let's say, sodium hydroxide, this will also behave as a base. Sodium hydroxide will also behave as a base. If we have calcium oxide, this will behave as a base. Calcium oxide behaves as a base, okay, along with calcium hydroxide. Calcium hydroxide also behaves as a base. So calcium hydroxide also behaves as a base. Sodium hydroxide behaves as a base, calcium hydroxide behaves as a base, sodium oxide behaves as a base, sodium hydroxide also behaves as a base, okay. We have, let's say, sodium carbonate, this also behaves as a base. Sodium hydrogen carbonate, this also behaves as a base. So what is it that is making them behave as a base? So we will now understand the standard definition of bases, okay. So a compound which neutralizes an acid is called a base. Any compound which will neutralize an acid is called a base. We have already learned what is a neutralization reaction. A neutralization reaction is acid plus base is equal to salt plus water. We have already learned about it, okay. Acid and base is equal to salt plus water. So now we are going to learn about the acid and base is equal to salt plus water. We have learned about it, okay. So neutralization reaction is one in which an acid is neutralized to a base, okay. So this is how we actually, an acid is neutralized by a base. I am so sorry. An acid is neutralized by a base. So anything which has the capacity to neutralize a base is to neutralize an acid is known as a base. So the fundamental definition of a base is anything which has, or any compound which has the property or the capacity to neutralize the effect of an acid is called a base. And that can be a base like hydroxide, that can be a base like an oxide, okay, that can be a base like a metal carbonate, or that can be a base like a metal hydrogen carbonate. So all these are basically bases. So let's have our concept very clear that bases are compounds which have the property of neutralizing an acid, okay. We can define bases in a lot of aspects, but this is the fundamental definition. So irrespective of whether hydroxide ions are present or not, generally students have a concept that, you know, a base is something which will have an hydroxide ions. It's not that way, okay. A base is a compound which can neutralize an acid, okay. It can be an oxide, metal oxide, it can be a metal hydroxide, it can be a metal carbonate, or it can be a metal hydrogen carbonate. Any of these compounds has the capacity to basically neutralize an acid, okay, and that's the basic property of a base, okay. Now we have also got something called as alkalis. Now what are alkalis? Okay, generally bases are soluble in water, but not all bases are soluble in water. There are only a few bases which are soluble in water. Now why do we need to consider their solubility in water? The reason why we need to consider their solubility in water is because until and unless they get dissolved in water, they are not going to produce hydroxide ions, and hydroxide ions are necessary for the base reaction to take place. Now you said that metal oxides, how do they have hydroxide ions? See, any metal oxide, if you take CaO plus H2O, what will it form basically? It will form calcium hydroxide, which is again, this is also a base, this is also a base, because both have the capacity to produce, and any which ways a base has to be taken in water, okay, for reactions to take place. So any metal oxide you dissolve in water, obviously you are going to get a base. So metal oxide, the reason why they are considered as bases is because they form hydroxide ions when they are dissolved in water, okay. So calcium hydroxide is a base. In the same way, magnesium hydroxide is a base. So as we were learning about alkalis, okay, what are alkalis? Water soluble bases are called alkalis. Alkalis are basically what? Water soluble bases. So any base which is basically soluble in water is known as an alkali. An alkali is basically a water soluble base. So we have a couple of bases which are alkalis. For example, calcium oxide is an alkali. Calcium hydroxide, it is soluble in water, okay. Sodium hydroxide obviously is alkali. Potassium hydroxide is an alkali. Magnesium hydroxide is an alkali, okay. So alkalis are basically bases which are soluble in water. Not all bases are soluble in water, okay. So alkalis are basically bases which are soluble in water. So we can write this as a universal statement that all alkalis are bases. Why? Because obviously you dissolve a base in a water to get an alkali. So all alkalis are bases. However, all bases are not alkalis. All bases are not alkalis. So definitely all alkalis are bases, but not all bases are alkalis. Okay, because all bases are not soluble in water. Now, the reason why we are concerned about the solubility of a base in water is because until and unless the base completely dissolves in water, it is not going to dissociate into ions. Okay, and ions are very much necessary. Okay, for the bases to display their property in terms of chemical reactions, it is important that ions, that is OH minus ions, are formed. Okay, so what have we learned in this slide? What are bases? Bases are basically compounds which have the capacity to neutralize an acid. What is the other thing that we are referring to? So bases basically have a bitter taste and they turn red litmus blue. Okay, what else? Bases can be metal oxides, bases can be metal hydroxides. Mostly metal hydroxides are considered as bases. Okay, bases can be metal carbonates, metal hydrogen carbonates, because all of them individually have or display the property of neutralizing an acid. Okay, so we know the neutralization reaction is acid plus base is equal to salt plus water. So all of them have the capacity to neutralize an acid. So all these are basically bases. Okay, now what are alkalis? Alkalis are basically water soluble bases. Any base that we happen to dissolve in water will be an alkali. Okay, so an alkali is basically a water soluble base. Are all bases soluble in water? Not necessarily. Okay, not all bases are soluble in water, so it means not all bases are alkalis. However, all alkalis are bases. Why? Because alkalis are water soluble bases. Okay, so bases, when you dissolve them in water and if they are soluble in water, they are referred to as alkalis. So all alkalis are definitely bases, but not all bases are alkalis. Okay, so this is a little introduction on the basis part. Okay, we will continue with more on bases, and you can take a snapshot of the same. Alright, we will continue with bases. Okay, so what basically are bases? Bases are the ones which basically produce hydroxide ions. Okay, so in bases, the bases as we understood it from the earlier slide can either be metal oxides, generally they are metal hydroxides, but the same property can be displayed as bases by metal oxides, metal carbonates, and also metal hydrogen carbonates. Okay, so all these metal hydrogen carbonates, all these will basically have a property of doing what? Of neutralizing an acid. Any compound which can display a property of neutralizing an acid. Okay, the basic property is neutralizing an acid. Any compound which can display the property of neutralizing an acid is termed as a base. And all water soluble bases are basically alkalis. Okay, all water soluble bases are alkalis. Okay, so now any base, okay, understand the term. Any base means any metallic oxide, any metallic carbonate, or any metallic hydrogen carbonate, or any metallic hydroxide. Okay, when taken in water, base in aqueous solution, obviously we will have to take base in aqueous solution, will behave as a base. Okay, so any base in aqueous solution will give what? OH minus ions. Okay, for example, NaOH will give Na plus OH minus ions. The basicity is basically due to this. Okay, this is basically the reason for all the reactions that are happening for bases. Okay, then we have, let's say, potassium hydroxide. This will give K plus OH minus ions. If we have, let's say, calcium hydroxide will give Ca2 plus 2 OH minus ions. Okay, then we have, let's say, magnesium hydroxide. This will be Mg2 plus 2 OH minus ions. Generally you see these are metallic. There is one exception to this. See, exceptions are the ones which you need to watch out for, because most of the times objective questions are mostly centered around exceptions. Okay, so exceptions are the ones which you need to consider. Now, one of the exceptions in bases is NH4OH. NH4OH basically is ammonium hydroxide. That's ammonium hydroxide. Okay, so ammonium hydroxide is basically, ammonium hydroxide is also behaving as a base. It is also behaving as a base. Although ammonium hydroxide, if you look into it, NH4OH, this is a non-metallic part, non-metallic hydroxide. It is not a metallic hydroxide, it is a non-metallic hydroxide. It is made up of nitrogen and hydrogen. So ammonium hydroxide, in spite of being a non-metallic hydroxide, still it behaves as a base. So hence we can note it as an exception, that generally for bases it is metallic oxides or metallic hydroxides or metallic carbonates or metallic hydrogen carbonates. However, in the case of ammonium hydroxide, we have a non-metallic hydroxide which behaves as a base. Okay, again NH4OH also will dissociate to give NH4 plus and OH minus ions. Okay, so on the basis of, as we had in the case of acids, we had strong acids and strong and weak acids. So also in the case of bases, we have strong bases, and we have weak bases. Okay, we have weak bases. Now, as in the case of acids, if you remember, how do we dissociate acids into strong acids or weak acids? The way in which we dissociate is basically the production of hydrogen ions. So the more is the hydrogen ions produced, the acids basically dissociate completely to produce hydrogen ions. In the same way, strong bases are the bases which dissociate completely to form, the strong bases dissociate completely to form hydroxide ions. Strong bases dissociate completely to form hydroxide ions. Okay, so strong bases are the ones which dissociate completely to form OH minus ions. Strong bases dissociate completely to form OH minus ions. For example, NaOH, this will be a complete dissociation in aqueous solution, in aqueous solution. Okay, so NaOH is an example of, sodium hydroxide is an example of a strong base. Then we have potassium hydroxide as an example of strong base. So these are basically also alkalis, because until and unless a base dissolves in water, it will not be giving 100% ionization. So this, of course, basically sodium hydroxide and potassium hydroxide, they are alkalis, because these are the ones which will dissociate completely. Okay, these are the ones which will dissociate completely. Okay, so that's the reason they are known as strong bases. Now, what do we have as weak bases? Weak bases are the ones, weak bases basically do not dissociate completely. Okay, weak bases undergo partial dissociation. Weak bases undergo partial dissociation. Okay, so they are not dissociating completely. They also are forming OH minus ions. However, the dissociation is incomplete. For example, we have calcium hydroxide as a weak base. We have magnesium hydroxide as a weak base. Okay, so calcium hydroxide, magnesium hydroxide, all these are more or less weak bases. Okay, so these are weak bases and these are strong bases. The ones which do not dissociate completely are known as weak bases. The ones which are dissociating completely are known as strong bases. Now, obviously, strong bases have to be alkalis. Why? Because until unless a base completely dissolves in water, it will not be able to dissociate itself completely. Okay, until unless a base dissolves in water, it will not be able to dissociate itself completely. Similarly, weak bases, in the same way, weak bases will not be alkalis. Why? Because they will not be dissolving themselves completely in water, and that's the reason they are not dissociating into OH minus ions completely. Okay, so weak bases are not alkalis. However, strong bases are alkalis. So most of that's the reason we say alkali metals. If you look into it, in periodic table we have something called as alkali metals. What are the alkali metals? Lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, all these are basically alkali metals. Alkali metals, the group of alkali metals is the ones which are having one electron in the outermost orbit, and these are reactive metals. So their bases will all be alkalis. Their bases will all be alkalis. Why? Because they are completely dissociating to form OH minus ions. However, alkaline earth metals such as calcium hydroxide or magnesium hydroxide, they will also behave as bases, but their dissociation will not be complete. Okay, so you can take a snapshot of the same.